In this edition of Idle Gossip, mean-mouthed males, raunchy new releases, and Colin the Conqueror. And now for our regular look at how to appear in public, the Fashion Police. It's a mixed bag of fashion foibles, and we've got the dirt on stars that should have tried a little harder to keep the fashion fuzz off their backs. From the red carpet to the halls of justice, let's blow the whistle on the stars who are definitely old enough to know better. Let's start off with a triple count of dressing without a clue. Courtney Love, you're in trouble now. When the judge sees you, he won't look favourably on this fashion infraction. You could have washed your hair. Day 2. Courtney, clearly influenced by the lawyers in tow, has got the whole Ally McBeal thing going on with the demure suit that barely keeps her in. And really badly too. Must have stayed up all night worrying about her ensemble. I'd be worried too. No, Courtney, currying sympathy with the little girl who never learnt how to dress herself act may work on record company execs, but not judges. And will you please do something about that hair? Day 3. Well, I see she's had a haircut, but it's all about poor me. Look, I dress in clothes from a thrift store. Oh, Courtney, just get over it. It's so mid-90s. We know you're the queen of grunge, but can't you try to move on just a bit?
I don't know if I want to.
Courtney, why can't you be more like Martha Stewart? She knows how to dress for court, except for the poor little fox that looks like it's been macrame'd around her neck. Heaven help us. Martha, what have you done? A whole new trend of strange and pendulant furry adornments are the new vogue on the red carpet. Looks like dog fur to me. Madam, how many Bichon Frise died for that obscene adornment? You can go one of two ways on the red carpet. I'm hot, I'm dressed to kill, and I'll get attention just by being there. Or I'm desperate, I'm not fabulous, and I want my picture in a gossip rag, and I'll do anything to get it there. Diane Lane must be enjoying some heat on this red carpet. Looks like she's just played tennis. Shockingly lowbrow for a premiere of a film starring you. That's more like it. Work it, baby. Yes, the fashion criticism is harsh, but justified. Let's end on a high note with true premiere goddess style, including specially prepared pout from Jessica Biel. And heavenly Penelope Cruz, shimmering in apricot chiffon. Now that's how a star takes the red carpet. Turns out it's not just the poochers in the Osborne house who have little control over their bodily functions. Sharon Osbourne, in her usual style of too much information, reveals they've installed urinals in the family mansion because Ozzy has such lousy aim.
I'm going to give it a few days. I'm going to ask a few questions in a few days.
Sharon was quoted as saying, "We have to have urinals everywhere because Ozzy always misses the target and there's pee all over the seat." When it comes to catfighting in Hollywood, nobody is as nasty as the guys. Rod Stewart recently fired a salvo at several of his British pop music colleagues, with Rod feeling left out of the celebrity honours bestowed by royalty to others in the pop music field. Stewart mouthed off at Sir Elton John, referring to him as overweight and badly in need of a spate of slimming. Sir Paul McCartney received a serve from the 70s singing supremo.
It helps to be famous, I suppose, and a few shillings.
Rod, who is much maligned in the press for his 2 marriages to much younger women, had a bone to pick with Sir Paul's relatively squeaky clean advance to marry a woman half his age.
I'm just saying about how much stick I get going out with a younger woman, and he doesn't.
Bitter Rod also took a swipe at McCartney for his acceptance of a knighthood, stating his disgust at being overlooked for such an honour, reminding all that cared he had done his bit for charity for many years. He also spat his dummy over the fact that he had often been passed over at the Grammys in favour of others like eco-warrior Sting. Sting was the only one receiving a knock that replied publicly, stating, "I do think Rod deserves a Grammy. I'll send him one of mine." Now, fellas, bitchy. Eminem loves controversy. His ongoing verbal brawl with superstar DJ Moby has courted much publicity and had some nasty repercussions. At the Grammy Awards in 2001, Moby called Eminem a misogynist, a homophobe, a racist and an anti-Semite, all of which could describe the lyrical content of some of his rapping. But we know he's a really nice guy, just misunderstood. Eminem replied in his acceptance speech at the MTV Video Music Awards, calling Moby a little girl and warning the bespectacled artist that he would hit a man with glasses. Not over the thrill of the chase yet, Eminem took inspiration from the issue in his anger management tour. The concert performance, including, among other relevant happenings, a mock murder and the shooting of a Moby lookalike on stage. Some months after the whole issue between the two erupted, Moby was assaulted outside a Boston nightclub. Fingers were pointed at Eminem for possibly inspiring the perpetrators of the assault. Who would have thought? Honestly, nasty stuff indeed. And the pop gods are not the only guys who like to bitch and moan. Sean Penn's short fuse of old has been reignited, but now he goes off at his mates, not photographers. His long friendship with Nicolas Cage has been irreparably tarnished, with Sean criticising Nick for his recent choices of roles. Penn told the New York Times Nick Cage is no longer an actor, he's more a performer.
Ben, pick it up.
Cage, hurt by the snipe, said the door to our friendship is closed. In this business, you get enough negativity from the press without having your friends dump on you in public.
I refuse to believe that.
Too true. With all the twists and fallacies of stardom, it's not surprising that some stars get caught up in the drama celebrity brings. And as we can see, the men fall prey to the bitch within as often as the women do, especially when publicity is at stake.
Now we must put the rancor of the past behind us and do the extraordinary. Whether you're an A-list, B-list or C-list celebrity, there seems to be no end for the career boost if you show a little bit of skin. A bit of nudity sprinkled into the mix can revive interest in a flagging career and add spice to a clean-cut image. And there are throngs of potential new male fans, young and old, just ripe for the picking, who are susceptible to a bit of flesh. Some stars obviously can't get enough of the cameras and like to have one strategically set up in their bedrooms to catch those moments they'd like to keep forever. And sometimes, if there's a really good moment, or 5, the tape can magically end up falling into the hands of someone seedy enough to want the rest of the world to see just how much fun was being had. It has happened to stars aplenty, and strangely, this kind of publicity can affect a career favourably. Rob Lowe experienced this kind of exposure in 1988 when having fun with a young lady while appearing at a political convention.
Though the publicity was huge at the time, it didn't affect his career permanently, and he ended up a bigger star on television than he was in film. Maybe his charisma was larger on the small screen. Other notable close encounters of the personal kind have been mass-marketed like an actual cinema release. The infamous vacation video Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee spent meticulous hours shooting in 1997 was copied and circulated bootleg style. Then a canny distributor of smut cut a deal with the two stars of the show, and the rough footage was transformed into a certified adult release, one of the biggest sellers of all time. Neither career was hurt. In fact, Pammy's big seller only led to larger roles.
Just have to check my website. Actually, I just got my name back, so PamelaAnderson.com.
Once is never enough for some, and recently a second slice of Paris Hilton and Friends was made available. Her first escapade surfaced in 2003, and unable to stop the release of the naughty footage, Paris made a deal to get a cut of the profits. The new tape, said to be 12 hours long, shows an au naturel Paris with various boyfriends in situations that even Paris would have to describe as hot.
That's hot. Thank you.
The Hiltons say they will sue anyone who tries to distribute the footage, but cyberspace is already spotted with images and clips from the latest Paris collection. Yes, it seems the best way to go to the next level of celebrity, a level that not all are willing aspirants, is to star in your own, behavioural documentary. So if you're a celeb up for a bit of, romping, the message is clear. Publicity has a price, and some are willing to do anything to achieve it, even if it calls for the shedding of all morals. Orlando Bloom and Kate Bosworth may be coy about a possible walk down the aisle, but their romance is definitely getting serious. How serious?
He was incredible.
The actress is picking out his underwear. It's reported Kate shelled out $400 on underwear for Orlando during a sale at Saks in Beverly Hills.
I'm not here for excitement, I'm here to work. Maybe you should think about going to sleep early too?
She even called him on a mobile phone to find out what size he wears. And for those rabid fans out there, he prefers tighty whities in small. Yes, we're as disappointed as you are. When Oprah Winfrey celebrated her 50th birthday, she brought together a small group of famous friends. Tina Turner and Stevie Wonder provided the musical entertainment for the guests, and the list read like a who's who in Tinseltown. Appearances were made by John Travolta, Nicole Kidman, Nelson Mandela, Celine Dion, Maria Shriver and Governor Schwarzenegger. Talk show buddy Jay Leno wheeled out a 400-pound birthday cake. Oprah took a night off her strict dieting regime. The party fest didn't end there, with the guest of honour holding a lavish dinner at her ranch in Santa Barbara. She was reported to have spared no expense, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the series of spectacular parties. Oprah has worked hard for her money, so why shouldn't she blow some of it as only she sees fit? If 50 is the magic number for stars to go the whole hog on a birthday bash, John Travolta certainly wasn't going to be one to let the team down. His lovely wife Kelly Preston threw a surprise party for his 50th birthday in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, for 280 of his closest friends. The celebration was more on the scale of an award show, with performances by Natalie Cole and Tony Bennett. Barbra Streisand also rose to the occasion and sang an impromptu birthday song for the guest of honour. When Hollywood heartthrob Brad Pitt celebrated his 40th birthday, he threw himself a fancy costume party.
Wouldn't that be a sight?
And dressed as his wife at the time's ultimate fantasy, Simon Le Bon, from the 80s band Duran Duran. Jennifer was speechless when Brad sang her one of Duran Duran's songs on the karaoke machine. But was she speechless with delight or horrified with his singing? R&B star Usher held his extravagant 25th birthday bash at Pearl in West Hollywood. VIP guests had a good time with female strippers dancing in fishnet dresses and barely their thongs. The white cardboard invite contained a CD with all the details for the lavish party, as well as songs accompanying the 1970s theme for the party. When party girl Paris Hilton celebrated her 21st birthday, she decided to throw her own parties all over the world, in Las Vegas, Tokyo, London, Los Angeles, and New York, travelling between them all in the same 24-hour period. Each party was decked with celebs and was estimated to cost $75,000 per soiree. Nobody knows how to throw a mega party better than hip-hop king P. Diddy. Approximately 300 guests were flown to the Moroccan city of Marrakesh on chartered jets to celebrate his 33rd birthday. Among the stars were Naomi Campbell and Tommy Lee. The weekend-long party started at an exclusive restaurant with Arabian dancers and jugglers, and the next night there was another star-studded event where camels and snake charmers greeted guests. Yet another party was held at the 19th century marble Bahia Palace, where guests lazed on opulent satin cushions, nibbled on Moroccan delicacies, and watched belly dancers perform. The bill was reported to be around $1 million. It's clear you'll never go hungry when attending a star birthday party, and when they spend the amounts they do on celebrating their special events, they're truly living up to our expectations of what stars are supposed to be. Fundraising events can't get more ludicrous than this. Get a gaggle of celebrities, give them a simply lowly stapler and a marker, and get them to autograph it. And fabulous! Who would have thought such a mundane item could become a fan collectible? These objects have been put up for auction, with the proceeds going to a charity of the star's choice. Good on them. Over 100 stars have donated a signed stapler. The list includes Paris Hilton, Spike Lee, Cher, Ringo Starr,
my name is Ringo, and I can't be with you tonight,
and Tiger Woods. Another event, less publicised but drawing much attention over the internet, was Guitars from Woodstock, which auctioned electric guitars that belonged to musicians who attended the Woodstock Rock Festival in 1969. Organisers are not sure where to go for next year's extravaganza. Perhaps hole punchers from Hollywood. Colin Farrell's star has risen quite quickly, and there's no sign of it waning yet. He has shot from generic actor in Irish television to major motion picture leading man in less than a decade. But who is this dark-eyed gentleman from Dublin?
Playing a bad mother, wash your mouth.
Is he really the bad boy he's made out to be?
Ooh, crazy bad boy. Wow.
You've never done anything bad in front of me.
What would I do bad, man? What am I going to do? Jock you, tell you, what am I going to do that's bad? You know what I mean? It was a big challenge, and it was great.
Colin often paints a picture of his true down-to-earth self as a pub-crawling lover of a few pints and a few cigarettes. And of course, after a few pints and a few cigarettes, and then a few more pints, a packet of cigarettes, then a pint or two to finish, Colin likes to do and say exactly what he pleases.
I didn't get to be in. I'm with 25 people, we're all having a
And why not? It's the real him. Recently on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show, Ellen insisted the potty-mouthed leprechaun not swear or pay $100 per expletive. To Colin, this was impossible, as he expresses himself through the gentle art of profanity, and like him rough, like him ready, he had to cough up $900 at the end of the interview.
Talk about this later.
Oh, he's such a bad boy, is our Colin. What a lad.
You defend the man who called my mother a whore and me a bastard!
In 1995, Colin travelled to Australia as a backpacker, where he was reported to have been quite the ladies' man and party boy in Sydney.
What's he like? Is he a good guy? He's a good kisser.
Recent publicity tied to Alexander had Colin boasting a brush with the Sydney police authorities, claiming he had been arrested and had mugshots taken of him in relation to his being a suspect in a murder investigation. Australian law enforcers stated there was no record of a Colin Farrell ever being arrested in or around that time. As mugshots are only ever taken when an arrest for a crime occurs in Australia, no photos of that person reportedly exist either. Though the story appeared in UK newspapers and Colin recounted it himself on the David Letterman show recently, it appears to have been as real as the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh, that Colin, he's a scallywag. Just what'll he get up to next? Colin decided to try out in Hollywood after roles in several UK films. With the luck of the Irish on his side, he was cast in a string of major motion pictures, including Minority Report, opposite Tom Cruise, where he replaced Matt Damon, who pulled out of the project. The international press paints a picture of Colin as a bad boy. We're wondering just how bad is Colin? All right, he's got a few tattoos. That's pretty rough and tough. Colin has a soft spot for body art, sporting several small tattoos on his left forearm, the words Carpe Diem, seize the day, and a black cross. He also has the name Millie on his left ring finger above the knuckle, Millie being Amelia Warner, his now ex-wife. What other attributes add to this brooding, angry young man persona? Colin swears like a trooper.
I've never heard anyone speak that way before in my life. My mother was horrified.
Oh, so does Elton John. Next. Colin dances. Not as tough as we thought. Colin, at age 17, taught dancing across Ireland, but in a recent TV appearance, when asked to demonstrate, couldn't remember a step. It's not very tough, so we think he might have just forgotten on purpose. Colin wanted to be in a boy band. Colin once auditioned for Irish pop boy band Boyzone, but was rejected. No, not really as tough as we thought, eh? Oh well. With a meteoric rise to superstardom, Colin walks and talks like a future Hollywood icon. Incidentally, due to the ambiguous sexual nature of his character in the epic Alexander, Colin has recently been coined as a gay icon. So soon, we'll be seeing Colin swapping from beer to fluffy ducks.